in camp a day from Ironwrath. You are getting your stuff together, Lord Martin, and Asher Steele, one of your three squires, is taking care of some of your equipment. He's scouring your mail, as he has been taught to do. Um, and the other squires, Carlin Snow, who's like a bastard who's proved himself to be unusually big, and so you've taken him in as a squire. Um, and Donald Horch, who's the son of Maiden Chin, um, are all doing different things. So one of them is like brushing down your horse after the day's movements, and the other is oiling the blades. And Steele looks up and says, "Do you think that they'll attack us, Lord? I haven't been in a proper fight yet. Well, I've practiced in the yard with the lads, but not a real battle."
Whether they will or they won't, we have to act as if they will, as if they're around any corner. If we believe they won't attack us, and they do, we're done for. If we believe they will attack us and they don't, we're fine.
But isn't it dishonorable back at night or indirectly? Are they supposed to announce it and meet us in the field?
Yes, it is. There are plenty who don't care about such things.
So they could get us now at night. He says, and stops brushing down the horse and sort of like looks into the woods beyond.
They might. If they want to dare such a thing, it would be risky for them as well as for us. But opportunity calling often leads to those in power doing dishonorable things. They could very well be here. That's why we keep watch, we stay vigilant, we prepare ourselves, and we're ready for anything.
Hmm. Yeah, he nods and continues to brush down the horse. But there's like a tense feeling among the three squires, you can tell, and they sort of look between each other. Uh, what's it like in a battle? It's so different.
In some ways, exactly like you practiced for, the basics at least. But in other ways, it's nothing like you ever could practice for. There's not really a way to explain it. There's an energy, an excitement in some ways, a thrill, but also a danger in a way that practicing in the yard does not give. You'll need to keep your wits about you, stay close to those who can help protect you. More than anything else, stay alive. Everything else comes secondary to that.
Yeah, you can see that Carlin Snow nods at that. Like that's the great wisdom that he already understands, that staying alive is the most important thing. But Asher looks a little sort of forlorn at the idea that like staying alive is more important than doing it correctly. And you would know of him that he's like extremely keen to be knightly, and like is a frequent visitor to the Sept and things like that. And so he'd look a little forlorn maybe at the reality not matching up with what he had hoped for.
Yeah, I think maybe sensing that, Leonor would continue. There's an interesting thing about the great stories of the knights, the shining heroes that you hear about. It's almost never their first battle that got them, nor their second or their 10th. If the stories are about those who have already died, they've done so on the backs of many, many victories. You don't get those victories or those stories. You're on the ground as a young boy. There will be a time for glory. We'll all have our chance at it if things go well. This battle, if there is one, is an intro to what that story will be. Not the finality of it, but merely the beginning that you need to make it through. To have your chance at something real.
And they seem pleased with that. Look to each other and then to you, and will nod and kind of get back to their work.
Yeah, as Laner will like turn away from them, he'll kind of like bite at his lip uncomfortably, knowing that for some of them, it very well may be the case that they die.
Yeah, and they're not the only squires here. You've taken a great many of them with you, and some of them have been told to dress as women during the day to avoid giving away. And there's been a lot of joking and sort of laughing about that on the way so far. In the middle of the night, you're woken, Lady Tyra, by a... It wouldn't be a knock because it's not a door, but a sort of like, lady.
She'll awake from a cold dream, shocked by the noise, and she has to blink out the residue of the dream before she croaks. Who is it?
It's Ronald, lady. There's a man here, says he knows you, walked into the camp, ran, actually.
She'll begin rummaging around and grab up a coat and go to step, and then think, silly. She'll take the time to put on some comfortable garb and boots, and she'll strap a knife that was under a pallet to her belt, and then put the cloak, like throw the cloak over herself and walk out into the night. And who's Ronald?
He's just one of your guards. It was his name, sorry, not the person who's come. He'll lead you through, and you can see that like sitting on a log with some other guards who are like unsure of who this person is, and he's breathing heavily, is Garrod, who is one of the people that you had placed in High Point. He's been there for a couple of years. And he'll rise when he sees you and bow his head. Lady, I did not stop for a single moment. There's a force en route this very day to intercept you.
Untrusting of those furthest from her, who swear loyalty to her, she will scrutinize the man and begin to take stock of him physically, to like begin to like try and check out his story. And if she still feels the trust she'd had for him when she sent him away, she'll ask who leads them and what makes up their company.
Yeah, I'm not certain. I heard mention of it in the court, lady. Lord Peake spoke against the plan. He said that there was still a king's peace and that there was no cause to attack. But old Lord Seri was wrathful and thought the opportunity too great, and spoke of immediate action, and he was backed by some others. I was sent from the room then.
And you think they... do you think you are uncovered? And what will they make of your absence?
I don't believe so. I left soon after, quietly, on foot. I do not know how many, lady, or exactly who leads them, but I know that the Lord is not there. Lord Ormond has moved south 2 days ago, maybe more. to visit his in-laws at the Brackens. Lord Seri is steward and command while he is gone.
All the better for us. If it's true, go and find food and... actually, no, she wouldn't dismiss him. She'd want him close in her company. She'll tell one of the guards to bring him food and drink for him, and she'll get him to retell everything he's said again for her own clarification, but also to see if his story is the same again. And once she's happy, she'll set 4 men to watch him while he eats, with Ronald in charge of them, and she'll go at once to rouse her kinsman.
Yeah, so he'll give you the specifics that Lord Whitehill left a few days ago to go south to the Brackens, presumably from the news that the king was dead. His father's a Bracken. And that Lord Seri is the steward and was basically left in charge when he left. And that news had come that you were coming or moving through the Wolfswood, and that the lords who are in High Point were discussing what to be done. Lord Peake, who would be the son of Callan Peake, was against the plan. Lord Seri and a man called Lord Scale, several others, were for the plan. Seemingly, it was agreed that it would go ahead, but that's as much as man knows.
And did he see the force, or just merely heard of all this going on?
No, he heard the talk of attack. He,
and then left.
And then left, yeah.
So it may, he may believe what he's telling us is true, but it may
Yes.
not even actually be happening at all.
It's not certain.
She
His
will...
impression is that it would be happening, which is why he broke cover and came to warn you.
She'll find some guards or squires along the way to her brother's pavilion, and she'll tell them to fetch Lord Mordor and Sir Laenor and Sir Niall, and have Mordor ready of some of his men to scout out into the night. Tell them to meet at the Slate's tent, and then before they can give her a confirmation, she'll, near running, briskly set off for the Slate tent.
Yeah, they'll nod in agreement, and in turn, each of you will be woken by guardsmen who will implore you to make your way as quickly as possible to the Slate pavilion. And Lord Valon, you'd be woken as well in similar fashion, I guess. You can ready yourself as Tyra enters the room.
How far ahead of this news are you, boy?
I don't know, Lord. In truth, I left as soon as I had the inkling, and I was certain enough that I thought it was going ahead. Many of the lords spoke for it, and very few against it, and so hours, I don't think days.
And how did you find us?
I ran towards home.
Hang on, aren't we north of?
Yeah, you've been following roads in the Wolfswood, though, and there aren't many. So you've been following paths and stuff. So he's.
Where is your home? He says, surprised.
A Blackmere, Lord.
This is not in the way to Blackmere. We're north of High Point.
Yeah, but you wouldn't walk across the mountains necessarily.
Didn't we? But as I've got it, we're sort of past.
Like he's been given the information that you are going to be in the Wolfswood, which is why he's come to warn you.
Yeah, but he didn't go to. He wasn't going in the direction of Blackmere. He's heading to the Wolfswood. I'll also question him, find out how much useful information he has. It seems that he's heard rumors, but he hasn't. I don't think much of your spy. I say to Tyra. He seems to have, without news of how many people are coming or how far ahead he is, he doesn't bring us much useful information.
And his position as a mole there is lost now. But he is all we have, and better than nothing, perhaps. And he was unknowing of our ploy.
Yeah, I'll call the best sentries, the best sort of rangers in the forest, and send them out in the direction that he came from to scout out the trails and head out for an hour or two back along the way to see if they can see any sign of approaching forces, so they can giving them instructions to work out where they are and how long we've got. And I'll order us to break camp, and we'll start moving. And well, actually, how good is the camp as a defensive place?
I don't think that
we'd have chosen.
Yeah, you've chosen, I think, like a hill or something. I don't think you'd have been digging ditches and things like that.
No.
So, I mean, as defensible as any camp, I think you'd have a couple of tents and stuff set up, and you don't have a huge force, and I don't think you'd have been digging ditches and making preparations in that way.
But natural terrain and things like that. I'll be looking around, seeing if there's anywhere. Well, actually, it's dark, and we're out of our. If there are any people in the troop who know this area, I'll call for example, Magdig, one of the hill tribesmen who he thinks has ranged up here, and see if he knows of any better defensible place near here, and if not, we'll start preparing our defenses here.
Yeah, I think it'd be Mortar's men who would be the best rangers and scouts and whatnot in your company.
Yep.
Don't know if you would know near here a place that's defensible, but I think Mordor and his troops, his scouts, could do some scouting to find somewhere.
I don't think unless they know somewhere immediately, I don't think it's worth sacrificing what we chose at nightfall to wander off. We'll just make what we've got more as defensible as possible.
Yeah, the rest of you would arrive at the tent as well. Ever choose.
Rouse the men, everyone, up.
My lord.
I've sent out scouts, my lord. I heard something. They're
well done,
coming for us, are they?
Apparently, there's people on their way. We'll defend the top of this hill. It's not much, but at least there's some. They'll be coming uphill towards us, and there's broken trees around. There's not much cover for them to approach, and we've got some cover up here from arrow fire from one direction. We can.
Is that right? Is that what we're doing, my lord? Ledlow, come here. Take an axe. I want you to near chop a large tree through, so we can drop it halfway through their number when they come along the road. If they're bringing knights, they'll have to come along the road rather than through the woods.
My lord.
We can drop a tree on their number.
Make it so.
Or trap half of them.
Yeah. divide them into two waves. Take them out one at a time.
If they come, they'll come at us at once with all their strength. I predict we're few, and they want this done swiftly. We could count upon that and work to make ourselves seem less and more enticing when they come.
Yeah, Mortar rubs his beard a bit, and there's some sleep out of his eyes. I guess they'll have their own forestmen who know the woods well. They'll be expecting to come upon us unawares. Be quick with that axe. I don't want them hearing it when they're riding up the road.
Yeah, all right, he says, and he's going, sleepy as hell and pissed off about it.
You haven't finished yet. I yell after him.
Lord Volon, Niall speaks up. Do you wish to obscure some of our numbers in the flanks, perhaps?
The crossbowmen into the wagons, hide their numbers and fire when they're at short distance. Fire volleys into them.
When they're already committed.
What about the non-combatants?
There aren't any non-combatants.
There are none, yeah.
Did you not bring your wife?
No. There is Rickard.
Yeah.
There's Rickard.
Okay.
And also Rick and
his carers, I guess.
Not really a carer.
Squires and knights.
There's one or two untried squires and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Rickard can stay in the wagon with me, my lord. I'll keep him safe.
There'd be cooks and stuff, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
Squires cook for us on this march.
Yeah. Squires and I guess the squires do a lot of the carrying stuff, taking care of the horses, cooking, all that stuff.
While they're wearing dresses.
Yeah.
Yep. It'll be worth it if this pulls off. We'll have to reward them handsomely. Stroke their egos back up.
An oath to silence.
So have you sent people to scout as well, Mortar?
Yeah, people to scout. I think he realizes that because they live so close to the Wolfswood as well, they'll have their own accomplished hunters, and perhaps they'll be sending them to encircle us as well. So yeah, only the best, and they're there to fall back the moment they encounter a screening line or something like that. So yes, short answer is yes.
Okay. Anything else you want to do here?
We'll be with all the people. They'll be cutting wood and stakes and creating obstacles in the darkness for horses to run into if they're going to come charging at us.
And we can form the wagons up too, corner to corner, to create refused flanks of our pole, where we stand.
Yeah,
and
mostly
filled with crossbowmen myself.
Yeah, exactly. To prevent a charge into any ranged weapons.
You be in the carriage with Rickard and some crossbowmen, sister.
Right, so you're on
and what of our knights? Our mounted strength will be dwarfed by theirs if they come at us. A horse, which I suspect them to, so we can't have them be on the road fighting them to lose. They're too precious. Do we leave our horses in the woods and fight on foot?
Yes, we're fighting them on foot in the dark with stakes and attempting to basically create havoc. If they come charging in the darkness, it's nighttime, isn't it? We can charging at night. Charging at night in the darkness, you don't have any time to react to stakes. We'll just create havoc with the horses.
Is that the sort of thing these fancy knights do, is it?
That's what.
charge at night?
That's what.
No, they'll wait till dawn if they catch us at night. Like, they would be fools, I think, to ride down at us on horses at a prepared camp at night. Unless they think they've caught us unawares. If we purposefully let them come at us till the last, then they might. But if they see us prepared, I think they'll just be like, right, we've caught them and trapped them. Let's wait till dawn. Or do you think they will come at night? I don't want to be too paranoid.
We will see.
We can also use mattocks to pockmark the ground before where we make our stand, so it's like honeycombed for horses to break their legs and create obstacles.
Make it so.
We should still keep some cavalry in reserve for if we can break them, we'll need to hunt them down and swiftly.
Yep.
Our fastest riders, like 3 or 4 or something, held in reserve, with guarding our horses, perhaps.
Lena, choose the fastest 4 and assign them that task.
Of course, my lord.
How long till they get here then? And where does the road to High Point connect to this one?
By my mind, it would be back west a ways, so I'd expect them to come from that direction to us, or from the woods south of us. If Volan's given the order to break camp now, if we march now along this road, heading the same way we were supposed to, until we find a hill to entrench in, then we can sit there in camp and then rest until they come at us.
Yeah, you're at a sort of low hill here, but it's not like an amazing sort of defensive place. It was dark and you're in the woods and you stopped at the closest sort of like reasonable camp.
Yeah.
But if we don't know the surrounding terrain,
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth sort of heading off and getting caught.
I imagine.
So just entrenching now.
Yep.
Well, clearings in the Wolfswood are not going to be super common. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be the occasional clearing for camping in. That's probably the best we can hope for. Like, we got a cart anyway, unless we abandon wagons and stuff stuck to the road. But I think,
And a couple of...
Mordor will bow his head and he'll just head off to supervise things. Now that he's sort of confirmed that they could be coming from the west behind us, he'll make sure there's a tree ready to drop on either side of our encampment, and men stationed there. And I'll wait by the base of that tree with a few men.
Okay. Can you roll me 3d20s for your scouts?
Oh, okay. 8, 7, 4. Shoot.
Okay. I'll just keep note of that.
Men of the Stony Shore, you've been training for fights like this. We have seen off the Ironborn. We have steadied the western reaches of the north against the grey sails appearing in the dawn. Each of you has most of you have won your sword, won your place in such battles, and this is another chance to show the mettle of the Stony Shore. Some of you are the Iron Guard, others are from other forces, but you've been chosen to ride with your lord to Winterfell because you are the best on the Stony Shore. Now, from High Point, the Lord has gone south. They aren't the best from High Point. They're just some dregs following Lord Scale and Lord Seri and Lord Slurry and whatever other dregs there are from that piss poor lump of steaming hill of piss in the north. Are you going to be beaten by the slurry of some steaming hill of piss?
No!
Says to them. Show them what the stony shore is made of. Cast the first stone.
Cast the first stone! Yeah, the men are ready and prepared for whatever comes in mortar. I think it would be Yep.
Just technically, as one of my stats or abilities, I've got what's it called? Oh, damn! Can't find my character sheet. Got you. I've got the ability, the racial ability of
Beach?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. A fish in Eastclough, it's Gunnar's legacy, but it's legacy of I don't know.
The Stony Shore or Slate or something. It's
legacy of Slate, and so they'll. Anyone who hears me speaking for at least a minute, you can make your charisma roll. Difficulty set by the GM, and on a success, warriors that could see and hear me gain +2 damage for 1 minute. So it's too late anyway. It won't work. Never mind.
You can do it right before.
Mm-hmm. I might rally them.
Yeah.
If we see them and there's time, then I'll do it. But if not, fair enough.
Okie doke. Yeah, the men are excited and ready. You think, and not particularly afraid. 2 hours go by and no sign of the scouts until finally one of them returns, Mortar, and finds you by the tree. And he's got an arrow in his shoulder. Not fucking good.
I guess that means you've seen him then, I say, peering at the arrow.
Fucking loads, Lord. But he's saying it quietly as not to panic anyone. 100? Try to get an exact count. They're moving quietly as they can.
No horses then?
No.
Yeah. Take word to the Lord. And it looks like you got something in your shoulder. See to that.
Yeah, it's nothing. He says, though he's grimacing, clearly in pain, and will move through the camp and report the same to you, Fallen. Thinks about 100, and they're moving quietly, so not with horses. At least what he's seen. And he was fired upon by archers.
No horses. In that case, Tyra Rickard and Tyron Rickard and 2 squires. If they're coming on foot, 100, you say?
Because it's dark, he wouldn't have, and he'll tell you, he wouldn't have seen the full host. So he would have seen the front.
So you're approximating.
He's guessing, yeah. And so there could, it's also possible that there could be horses in the back. But he encountered their screening force and they were seen and were fired upon. And he managed to get away, but they're lucky.
Did they see you escape? Niall will speak up. If they did, they'll know we'll be waiting for them.
Yeah, he gives you a look of probably. I ran.
Niall nods and then looks to Lord Vollen.
I'm not a coward, but there was too many.
Does this change the plan, Lord, or shall we proceed as you say?
He's just he seems to be. You see him considering looking at the sky in the east, see how far off dawn is. How far away were they when you left them, do you think?
An hour, Lord, maybe. I ran the whole way.
If they're on foot, then we can press on. We'll march. If there's 100, we'll march fast, and we'll send a rider over back to Ironholt to say that these people are a raiding force has entered their lands. I presume we're not in High Point's lands at the moment.
No, you're in the Wolfswood. I guess it's probably not super clear where the borders are in the Wolfswood, but yeah, you'd be somewhere between Forester and High Point lands, but definitely not south enough to be in High Point.
So, yep. Send troops back to
Ironrath?
Ironrath to not troops. We'll send 2 riders back to Ironrath, and we'll push on. Assuming that we'll be able to keep a pace as fast or faster than them until one of the wagons throws a wheel. If they haven't got.
Is that the direction they're coming from?
No, Ironrath is north, and they would have been coming. So your scouts would have gone
From our south.
back and south, and Ironrath would be back and north.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you want to get the camp up and march?
Yeah.
You sure? I'll look to you and lean close and say, Vollen, they'll be to make this ground. They'll be as my spy and have marched all the night while we sit and wait for them. There'll be 100 weary men by the time they come upon us. Our position here is prepared, and if 1 in 6 scouts returns from our foray against them, what likelihood is there that a small band might pass through unharmed to Ironrath? I feel we might need every man.
Would Ironrath take them past? Would 2 people going towards Ironrath take them past the approaching force from High Point? I've got them in.
No, but if they have already encircled us, then yes.
I'm going to presume they haven't encircled them and send off two runners, but the rest of us will stay in position. Okay, as you say.
And how far away is Ironrath by horse?
So you would have left in the morning, and you would have stopped here at night, so a day's journey.
Oh, but
at your speed,
carriage.
At the speed your company was going, probably half that on a horse.
Ah, so actually quite close to Ironrath.
Yeah,
you're
I guess
kind of
they're,
in the middle
they're
point
moving it.
Yeah, you go.
They're moving at night.
Sorry.
They're moving at night, so it'd be risky to full on gallop. But that'd be interesting. I guess they won't be able to send any forces in time though. So
perhaps we could draw their eye, send a rider with a lit torch in different directions. The darkness will still veil them.
You'd send men to do so and disorientate the scouts and throw off where we are. But that's only if we don't want them to find us, which I think we do.
I think we do.
Want them to.
Yeah, that's fair.
What do you guys think? I think we should stay, but if you think we should go, then I'll go.
think you're right. If they've been going at full pace to reach us, to catch up to us, they'll be tired. If we can surprise them with better defenses than they're expecting, could even the odds.
Yes.
Give us a chance.
Presumably, they haven't slept at night either, so they've been going for more than 24 hours without rest. We've had at least some hours sleep on the road, and we had we'll see. We'll fight them. They might arrive and rest, but if they do that, then hopefully Ironwrath will arrive to reinforce us, and maybe they won't risk that chance and will push on tired.
Let us then keep those 2 men to add to our number and send our Raven to Ironwrath. Well, not to Ironwrath. It's trained to go back. It's trained to go back to Blackmere. Actually, I can't tell it where to go.
No, I think
but even still, once it gets to Blackmere, then they can send on a message to Ironwrath. And 2 ravens would be quicker than 2 men at a day's march.
Very well. Send the ravens.
Or do both. Do both. You know, in case one gets shot down or the other gets shot down. We're under attack by Whitehill forces in the Wolfswood. Send word to Ironwrath for aid. We're on the road to whichever this road leads to Winterfell.
I'm sending Waymar Ashtree, the young squire, as a run to run through to Ironwrath. He's of little. He's the one who's been impersonating Lyanna, and he's untried in battle, and he has hardly started his training. He might be able to run through a forest, but he won't be able to do much in a battle. He can run and try and get through.
Okay, and the Raven is sent to Blackmere to say, send this message to Ironwrath. Right, there's a and clatter as it goes up through the trees, and vanishes into the night.
What about remember I'd sent some forces to the border, say from Foxden. Do we want to send a Raven? Do we want to send a message for them as well to move?
Oh yeah.
If we have a Raven for Foxden, but how many Ravens do we have?
Brought one.
No, it'd be one.
No,
it'd
one
be one
to give word at Blackmere, and then Blackmere would send a rider to Foxden.
Yes, that way as well. Good.
But let's have it known for them to not actually trespass on High Point lands. Like I don't want us in it. Like they'll have to still go around and be legal about our illegal ploy.
Yeah, it's just to threaten their flank, basically. Like
you said, they're not going to get here in time, but they'll be in motion for the aftermath, whether it goes against us or not. So that's good.
So the Raven basically to Blackmere says, "Hit the panic button. Tell everybody to come and save us."
Tell the Foxden forces to come to our aid and send word to Ironwrath to bring aid. We're beset by marauders upon the road. We won't say we're beset by High Point. We'll say we're beset by marauders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So the Raven goes, as does Ashtree. There. So you'd have you said you put some spikes and stuff into the surrounding the hill that you're on. You have some of those trees half cut
on the road on the way up.
Okay.
We'll have. Oh yeah, that's if we think that the trees can be hidden enough to drop without being for people to cut them down, finish off cutting them and not be too obvious, and there isn't so much of a wind blowing that. I think cutting them down the moment they are riding through is unlikely to happen perfectly. So I think we should cut them down and then get stakes hidden behind them, so they either got to jump over and find themselves amongst stakes,
or ride around into peril. Yeah.
Well, actually, they're not riding, are they? They're
no, they're not
foot,
riding.
So it doesn't matter. So we'll just have the barriers up and form a wall.
So drop the trees now, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
they can-
that was more for in case the cavalry charged, you
Yeah.
could drop it between the. But yeah, you're right.
It's
It's very
uncertain
imprecise science.
if they have horses or not. Like I said, it's like they would have been marching in a column, and it was dark, so they wouldn't have seen the whole length. But
Yeah. We'll still have the fallen trees as an obstacle for horses if they arrive to jump over and find themselves amongst stakes on the other side.
Okay.
And then we'll form walls, shield walls, and defending their lord. And the White
And build up the fires, obviously.
Okay, so you've got the trees felled to create a sort of barrier around, and then spikes behind, and I think probably like on the hill is the way you'll put your shield wall. And anything else that you want to do in preparation? Okay, let's do a real quick bio break before we get into this. Be back in a second.
Okay.
So there's another tense hour that will go by. Did you say, Murder, sorry, that you were going to take... you're all staying in the same place, right?
Yeah.
So as you stand then on the hill, I guess in the shield wall, and the fires are lit, you can hear then eventually the approach of men moving in the dark. First as sort of like the occasional footstep and snapping twig, but then a more notable crunch as they approach. And there's movement at the edge of the light. You think that you can see, which is not immediately followed by any violence. Think that they're here. You can't see through the thick trees, and hardly anything beyond the light of the fire, the fires that you've lit. But there is an uncomfortable feeling.
Do you know how Whitehill got its name? It used to be called Red Hill, but all the Southerners got so scared living in the north that they pissed themselves, and their piss turned the hill white.
Yeah, there's a chuckle and like a roar from the men who are with you. And there's banging on shields, and this is like a classic, I'm not afraid, I'll make as much noise as possible. And you can see that in even the Iron Guard, who would be like pretty more accustomed to war than most people here, and also trained for this situation. You can still sense a lot of tension.
I think Mortar will let rip while they're banging the shields with a howl to echo out through the Wolfswood.
Yeah, there's weirdly
Lord Slurry, is that your bowels I can smell?
another chuckle from your guys. Silence from the trees beyond.
How far off is dawn?
At least an hour, you think? Maybe more? Hard to know. And there's a ready!
Shield wall!
Come. Loose! Crossbow bolts and arrows fly from the dark. A great many of them. Can everybody make me a...
Are they firing blind? Can they see us?
They're firing blind, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out what the best roll to make is. I don't think a dex makes sense since you're like in a shield wall and armored. So actually, you can make a dex with advantage because you're in the shield wall.
Nice.
If you got above a 14, you will not take damage. If you got below that, you will take 4 piercing damage. As like an arrow grazes you, or a crossbow bolt. And then you can hear the winding of like winches as like crossbows are being reloaded. And hold!
Better luck next time.
This time there's some shouts from the woods, and then an immediate silence from someone who barks in order. Ready? Loose!
Is there no... Oh, I'll wait till after they fired at us, I think.
Another...
Dex again?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Guess it passed that one.
So it'll be a decent.
Is there no so-called knight down there who'll face me one-on-one?
Because there don't seem to be any archers.
There's a big chuckle from your shield wall. There is a voice that says, "A true knight fights correctly and cleverly." Loose!
You mean cowardly?
That's another save, right?
Yes.
Good lord. Rolled a 17 on the die for that one. Oh,
Okay.
plus whatever.
Did you make these quarrels yourselves?
There's one arrow finds its mark in the face of one of the squires. Not one of your three, Lord Martin, but nonetheless a crossbow bolt into the cheek, and he stumbles from the shield wall.
Do we mean to just stand here and let them empty their quivers?
Yes.
Niall.
Yes, we do.
Ready?
I'm happy if they empty their quivers, firing into the dark.
Loose! Check, please.
What's the DC?
14.
Okay. I mean, another grazes me, I guess. How much?
It'll be 3.
Yeah.
And for me, I rolled a 10, so I'm getting hit.
Yeah, same. 3 damage.
Same, 3. Okay.
That my shining armor saves me from that then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a call and there's a and you can see at the edge of the woods that there are men who are not in any sort of heraldry or anything, just like many sort of gambesons and quilted gambesons, and some kettle helms, some are helmetless, but all have either spears, shields, and axes. And behind them are some plate-mailed knights, you think, many of which are armed with like poleaxes, halberds, things like that. Loose! There's a knight in black.
Are you talking about your bowels again?
A knight in mostly black plate, and he's the one who's giving the commands. You can see as the arrows and bolts sail past him and fire towards the shield wall again.
And these are still with advantage.
Yes.
Okay.
So our archers can start shooting too, right? If we can
Yes.
see them at the edge.
You can surrender now, and your lives will be spared.
Do you hear that, Whitehill?
Very well. Well, what?
You look tired.
How much do I take from another arrow?
3 again.
Okay, yeah, my armor protects me from
All right, let's roll initiative. You're moving forward.
that.
The patient lord.
Yes, he's likes to see what everybody else is doing first.
big old list here. I know.
Oh, excellent.
So it starts, and there is a as a crossbow is fired towards the shouting lord. It's a miss, and it goes past you, Lord Valen, right past your head. The knight is going to move forward with the rest of his troops, and they're going to have to get across the tree. They don't have their spikes. I'm going to make them make a check to get across. Okay, so he's good. He leaps over the tree and clears the spikes, and will begin to run forward and rush forward. I think you would have set it far enough back that it would be inconvenient. That would make sense to me. So he'll be running basically forwards. He's got a great shield that's been painted black and a hammer in his other hand. He's running forward. I knew that. He'll take the dodge action. Right behind him comes a tall man in a quilted gambeson with a cattle helm on his head. He'll rush forward as well. And he also clears the spikes and will do the same. Take the dodge action, run forward. Another crossbowman will fire into the fray at Niall. But he also misses. The shield wall is helping. They actually should be firing with disadvantage at you, so good thing they missed. Another knight also clears, runs, dodges. Same situation with this one. The crossbowman, this youth, you can barely make out from the distance, is going to fire at you, Mortar. He misses as well. The kettle-helmed crossbowman. Sorry, I've not skipped all of you. I have just the bad guy initiative. Lenore. Apologies. So basically, the guy would have shot, and then it's you.
There's still a little bit of a ways in terms of the melee force reaching us, correct?
Yes. I'll say it'd be next turn when they get to you.
Yeah. So for now, Leonor will shout out to the others, "Hold the line!" And he'll keep his shield raised up, and he will, for now, dodge while the arrows fly and the swords are not yet out.
Okay, perfect. Niall?
Niall basically gives Lenor sort of like a sideways look, and he lifts his shield high and braces. He will also take the dodge action.
Okay. Carl and Snow will do the same. Tyra?
Tyra will call out from inside the wagon and use her sort of feature, death. She uses an action for 1 minute. All allies that can see and hear her may roll damage dice twice and choose the higher. That's in addition to her passive. All allies that can see and hear her roll reroll 1s and 2s on damage dice.
Nice.
And she'll say, "Cast the first stone." And at that, like the crossbowmen and archers that are hidden inside the wagons will like bristle and like ready themselves to spring and fire. But she won't give the order just yet, and she'll stay in there. Don't think she can do anything for a bonus. So she'll just give a last look to Rickard before she eyes the open trapdoor above. The trapdoor above. And that's it for her.
Okay, perfect. Asher, who's also on the shield wall, will dodge like everybody else. The crosswoman, the youthful one, did not shoot. He did shoot. So then, Mortar, it's your turn.
So how far away is the first knight?
They're going to be one movement, so 30 feet away.
So if I hold action when they come into range, I'll get a free go at them, plus my next turn's hit.
You can ready an action to like attack when they get to you, or you can move yourself to the bottom of the line, but they won't get to you then.
Yeah. No, I'll ready an action for when they reach us.
Okay.
Ready an attack.
Gotcha. Donald will dodge. A crossbowman will fire at You, Lord Slate. Hey, it's a hit. Oh, you're in the shield wall, so with disadvantage. Okay, it's a miss. Thunks into one of the shields around you. And it's very clear to you that all the training of the Iron Guard has paid off massively, as these arrows are totally ineffective against your men on the hill. A spearman rushes forward and jumps over. He looks like he's unhappy to be here. And he messes it up. He leaps over and is going to step onto one of the spikes. I'm going to say it's going to be 2d6. Yeah, he steps over and like impales his foot on one of the spikes, and there's a scream of pain. Is very sore. I'll say he'll also move at half speed, so he'll start limping behind the others. A knight in a great helm with a great warhammer leaps over and he's fine. Avoids the spikes, rushes forward and takes a dodge action. A big man tries to climb over the tree. It's almost comical. But he gets a crit, leaps over gracefully, sort of belying his unusual size, and avoids the spikes and rushes after the knights. Lord Slate.
Lord Slate will throw his spear at the halberdier, the knight halberdier.
Okay.
And yeah, he launches it through the air, and with a hitting it and 19.
19 hits.
9 points of damage, and then he draws his sword.
All right. Yeah. It embeds itself for a moment before breaking from the impact into the man's side. Finds a gap in the plate. Or goes through it, rather, pierces through. He breaks the spear and keeps running. Rosterman will fire upon you, my lord. He might actually hit with a 15.
No.
Nope. Okay. Lenore.
So as they all continue to charge, so they'll reach us
Yes.
this turn,
Yep.
correct? So with that in mind, Leonor will ready in action. So whoever the first person to reach him is, he will try to run them through.
Okay, perfect. The black-plated knight is going to rush for the side of the shield wall. This is not his first fight, clearly. Where do you think you're all in the middle, all five of you? I know Tyra's in the wagon.
Lord Slate would be in the middle.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I think we'd all probably, well, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I'd be in the center for sure.
No, I'd be part of the shield wall.
Yeah, it's just a question of like where in the shield
Who,
wall.
who's next to me?
Gotcha.
Who's I think Mordor would be best next to me, because you're kind of you're the sergeant or the constable of my sort of court, so it's kind of your position to guard my back to a certain extent.
Okay, in that case, he'll rush for the center then, seeing that's where the important people are. So he'll get attacked by those with readied actions. That'll be Lenore and Mordor.
Oh fuck! He's gonna get messed up. We've got a 20 on the die.
He will absorb the thing, but take the damage.
Yeah, so 21 to hit.
21 is a hit.
Okay, and that's 14 points damage.
We have advantage on the damage rolls, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Reroll.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Reroll one.
I got the same anyway.
Okay. Say 14, Mordor.
Yep.
Nice. That is a powerful ability. Good lord.
So I'm gonna deal 24 points of damage.
Look at me.
The legacy of Lawrence.
Jesus. Okay.
He's his father's son.
God. Oh, you got
23.
Good.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Pathetic. You got 21 to hit Mortar, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll use his reaction to parry that one and avoid that 14 at least.
Oh, I have a thing too. So just real quick, as Larence like pulls his sword up, not Larence, Laenor pulls his sword up to like just do this vicious like stab at this charging man. He'll look over to Niall and like shout out a knightly boon over to his ally. So because Laenor has his father's sword and he's the same class, I can grant a D4 bonus to an ally on their next roll. So
Nice.
Niall, whenever you make your attack, you'll add a D4.
Amazing.
As Laenor's sword and knightly ways will inspire you.
Yeah, it catches in the firelight and the indigo rainbow blade will sort of shine in an inspiring way. Right, the knight will connect and then we'll begin to attack. He is going to attack at... Oh, it's going to have to be you now, Laenor, after that. He'll rush forward and with the sword, strike at your head. He'll miss the first. Cannot roll to save my life today. He'll miss both attacks. In the shield wall, it's hard to get purchase, and the sword is a little bit longer than he would like, and so he's unable to get a good hit in. Right behind him is this tall man with a bill hook who rushes up, and he's going to try and pull your shield down, Lord. So I need you to make me a... Nope, you don't make anything. So he uses his action to pull your shield down. You'll lose your AC bonus for until it's your turn.
Okay.
That'll be it for him.
So it's automatic, that one.
Yes, it's all he does. He doesn't get to attack.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with the bill hook, we'll like reach for the shield and pull it down, and as you're trying to pull back, he is in.
No, that's good. I like that.
Niall.
Yeah, inspired by Laenor's cry out across the crash, he's going to make an attack against the knight that attempted to strike at Laenor. I've pre-rolled the added 3 that I was given made my attack with the blade a dirty 20.
He will use his second reaction to parry it.
Okay, he parries that, but does he then parry the 17 with my bonus action shield attack?
17 does not hit his armor.
Damn, so it clangs uselessly against him as Niall slams into the side of him.
Yes, a very defensive fighter, you can tell. He has the feature reactive, which is he has 2 reactions per turn. He's able to parry that strike and then lift the shield and is able to protect himself. Carlin Snow is going to strike out against the gangly man. He gets a... No dice. The crossbowman is going to fire at you, my lord. For a 17.
Nope.
Okay. Then it's Tyra.
She'll peer out from the wagon, seeing the enemy has now met our line, and she'll call out fire, and then she'll rise up with the other archers and crossbowmen, and she looks to where Slate is, and is Laenor near him as well?
Yeah.
And Slate is fighting the knight in black plate.
And you can see that there's like a soldier in front of him with a bill hook that's like wrestling his shield away at the moment. But yeah, he's adjacent to the knight as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll then level my bow at the knight in black plate. Actually, no, at the bill hook. The guy with the bill hook just behind him. She'll move her across and let fly a ranged attack at him. And the arrows is for a 13 on the dice at 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
It is only 9 piercing damage, but Laenor gets to move and make an attack on the bill hook.
Oh, nice.
So that'll mean he'll have to move forward 1, but he'll still be adjacent to both foes, and so won't provoke.
Yes. Yep. So you can shove yourself through the melee Laenor and make an attack against it. Bill Hooked Man.
Yeah, seeing Niall move forward to distract the black-plated knight, Leonard will see not an opening against the knight, but against the man standing behind, and with a lunge will attempt to run him through with a... That'll be a 21.
Hit.
All right, that'll be 10 slashing. So lunge forward, cutting at the man.
Yeah, you'll hack into his arm badly, and blood will spray. He's close to death. Asher is going to strike out at the Black Knight. But as he goes to do so, the sword will impact on the rim of the knight's shield, and he'll lose his grip. He rolls a critical fail. The halberdier is going to rush forward. He 30%. He is going to rush towards the carriage, and he will. So the crossbowmen are there's lots of people, right? So the crossbowmen are with you. They're firing at the many others, rather than do 150 rolls. He'll rush towards you, Tyra, and will swing the halberd at your head.
Can they get past the shield wall? Just, I thought we were kind
Is
of
it behind?
forming a wall.
Okay, I've missed.
That's what I sort of thought they were. They were at our back.
Okay. Yep. Then in that case, he won't do that. He'll instead rush to the side of the Black Knight, and he will strike at you while your shield is down. So he will first try to down. He gets an 18 on the die plus 7. That'll be 20 odd to hit.
Yeah, he knocks me down then.
And then he will attack you while you're down. Okay, 17 on the die, so a definite hit. He will use his...
Yep, okay.
He uses expert training to do an additional 2d6 damage. 20 damage from the halberd as it comes overhead.
Oof.
Yep, so he rushes up and he hooks the back of your knee with part of the halberd, pulls you down, and then overhead strike down, splat, and will connect. The swordsman will rush up behind and stand adjacent to the Black Knight on the other side, and he will strike at you, Niall. A 21 and a miss.
Yeah, well, the 21 is going to hit.
Okay. Be 8 bludgeoning damage, slashing damage.
Okay. Just so you know, Lloyd, I'm reducing that because of my armor, shining armor thing that I have. Yeah.
Perfect. The crossbowman will fire into the melee. He's going to fire at Laenor since Laenor is laying death around him. 14 on the die plus 5, so 19, Laenor.
That'll get me.
Okay. That's going to be 6 piercing damage for the crossbow bolt. Will connect. Mortar.
So the halberdier has assailed his lord, right? Is
Yes.
that what's happened, or is that the Black Knight?
No, that's the halberdier. Yeah, this big hulking knight with a. It's more a poleaxe than a halberd, but nonetheless, it's like a Swiss Army knife of bad news at the end of it, and he's used that to trip up the lord and swing it down on him.
The old can opener, eh?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he yells out, "The Wild Watchers!" And a bit of spittle trailing from his mouth. I attack recklessly this halberdier that's visiting such woe upon his lord. So the first attack will be a total of 22.
That will hit.
For 15 damage. And because that's max damage, I get to do a bonus attack.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be a 21 to hit.
He will parry that one.
Okay, and then I'll action surge for 23 to hit.
Yep.
And it'll be another 15 points.
For it.
But yeah, that, anyone who attacks me will have advantage. So
Okay.
they have a choice between
Yeah.
myself or the Lord.
Scary.
He stands up.
Donald is going to rush forward and try and help Asher, who's got his sword lodged in the Black Knight's shield, and he will strike at the Black Knight. He will miss. Crossbowman will fire at you, Mortar, as you're screaming and shouting. 17.
It's a miss.
Okay. So that'll sail past. The spearman who impaled himself is going to rush up and to strike at Niall. He'll strike at Niall. 19 on the die, so a definite hit.
Yep.
9.
Oh, AC's 19. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No worries. Thank you.
9 damage.
Yep.
The crossbowman will fire at you, Mortar. There we go. That's a crit.
All right. So I'll absorb the crit with my new ironwood shield. But yes.
Funk. Yeah.
Iron Warren. Let's say Ironwood Shield has absorbed 3.
Ooh,
Basically
lovely.
a magic item. So it's still going to be 14 damage.
Yeah, that's right. I've got 6 temporary hit points.
Nice.
So 8. Cool.
Okay, that was the. And Great Helm Knight is going to move forward and join in the melee. Seeing that Halberdier is in trouble, will join his side and will also strike at. Oh, it's such a tough call. The ground. He's going to attack Lord Valen. 21 to hit.
Yep, that gets me.
And a miss. Well, almost certainly a miss. A 17.
Yes, yep, a miss.
Max going to be 16 damage.
Oof, oof, oof.
The fat mace man is going to rush into the combat, or waddle into it maybe, and he's going to strike at Laenor. But he'll miss with the mace. And then Lord Slate, it's your turn.
You haven't cracked the slate yet, he says, pushing aside the billhook on his sword and trying to run through on his shield and trying to run through the who's the most injured? It's the guy with the billhook, isn't it? Is he within range of me?
Yes. Yep.
The halberd, I mean.
The halberd as well, yeah.
Halberdier is the most injured. Only a 16, is that good enough?
It's not a hit, I'm afraid.
He's in plate, isn't he? I'll action surge and try and hit him again.
Okay.
For a 22.
The hit.
For 15.
All right. Yep. So you'll kill him. Is it a sword? Yeah, so you can rise up and maybe he's got the halberd like lifted to come back down and you can find a weak point and run through.
I just see the gap. He's got his halberd up and there's a gap forms in his stomach and I raise up and just stick the sword through the gap between the plates and sort of rummage around in his guts and then pull it out with his guts flopping out after him.
Yeah, he falls to his knees and then back and rolls down the hill. Lord Slate, the bearded crossbowman, is going to... Yep.
Just so you know, my the slate hasn't cracked yet. Is my taking the second wind?
Okay. Yep. The bearded crossbowman will fire at you, Mortar. A 19 to hit.
That's a miss.
Lenore.
Laenor will turn back upon the black-plated knight, knowing that he's the one in charge. If we can break him, that'll give us a huge advantage going through the rest of the fight, and will attempt to take advantage of the distraction of everything to take him down. I'm also going to action surge, make 2 attacks here. The first one is a 21, the second one is a 22.
He hasn't. Okay.
Well, his reactions last round he would have used on me.
Hasn't gotten his
He won't get them
turn
back till
yet,
that's his
though,
turn.
so they haven't
Yeah.
recovered.
Oh,
yet.
right. Yeah, gotcha.
Just trying to
Oh, great.
calculate if he's used them both, and I think he has. So his AC is 21. I've forgotten the numbers you gave me.
So that'll be 2 hits then.
Okay.
All right. The first one is going to be for 18 slashing. The second one, a little bit less, 14 slashing.
Still up, but you're doing serious damage here. Getting underneath his plate. He is going to strike at you. Uh, 22. And
You being me.
you, yes, sorry, yeah.
Is that- so 22, Laenor will, with a flash of his sword, use his reaction to
Nice.
parry, turning that into a miss.
Yeah, it's actually like a beautiful sword fight between the two of you in a way. If it wasn't so desperate, it would look. I think like some of the squires who have a moment to look up would see some sign of knighthood maybe here between the two of you.
Mhm.
And then he'll strike with a crit, which maybe doesn't look so knightly.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'll take a hit to my shield to absorb catastrophe, but we'll take the rest.
It's 29 damage. Shit.
Man, this combat is just
That'll,
like
The damage is
ridiculous
insane.
numbers.
Yeah. It's like you're level 4. What the fuck? So this guy also has the reroll ones on damage, is what one of his abilities, which is where it's coming from. But yeah, that's
A
fucking
million
That will-
points
Yeah.
damage.
That will not put me on the ground, but Laenor will be seriously, gravely injured
Okay.
by that.
Yeah, that's fucking brutal. Jesus. That was the Black Knight. Gangly fighter still stands. He's gonna swing his billhook, and he's gonna pull down your shield, my lord. Once again, I think as you like strike up and take out the halberdier, there's a momentary opening, and he like sees the chance, hooks the bill, and then begins to pull, taking away your AC bonus. Niall.
Niall sees the opportunity and he throws himself fully against the Black Knight. I've pre-rolled some attacks. The first one is a 22 with his sword,
That will hit.
which gives him 12 points of damage.
Okay.
With his bonus action, he uses his shield again, and I rolled a natural 20 with the shield.
Nice. Okay, he'll absorb the effect, but
Sure.
the damage.
And he's he'd be trying to knock him over, but it doesn't really matter. There's no effect to the shield other than the damage. That's 14 points of bludgeoning
Jesus,
damage
from
with
the
the shield.
shield.
Yeah, well, it's critical.
Yeah,
I
it's
roll
crazy.
10 on
Yeah.
the 2d6 and then plus 4 on his
Amazing.
strength, so
Okay.
14.
So the shield strike, the rim of it buckles his helmet, and there's like a crunch, and a bunch of blood pours out of the visor, and he'll fall to the ground.
Niall, barely taking a second to gasp in, will then action surge, whirling about to the next foe directly next to the Black Knight, whoever that is.
It's either the gangly fighter or the swordsman.
The gangly fighter has been frustrating him, so he'll whirl about sort of in the same movement as cracking this guy in the head with the shield and puts his sword into him with a 25.
25 hits, yep. He's got 1 hit point left, so he's dead.
Yeah, they just go straight through him. A fountain of blood exploding from his chest, and then he whirls with his shield to hit the next person if he can. With that bonus action.
You only action surge doesn't.
You only get one both.
Oh, do you not get another bonus action with your action
No.
surge?
You just
okay,
get
well
the
that's
action.
it then.
Yep.
All right, there we go.
Okay, Carlin is going to try and get he'll pull the sword from the shield of the now dead Black Knight. He will strike at the swordsman, but he'll miss. They're trying, the squires. The crossbowmen will fire at Lord Slate. Ooh, 19 on the die.
Yep, that'll hit.
Yeah, okay. Not great damage. It'll be 6 damage.
Okay.
As a quarrel finds you, Tyra.
Oh, you still here?
Tira will look up the madness of the melee, and she'll call for or screech out for the archers to fire upon the enemy archers beyond, so we don't risk hitting our own troops.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll turn to one of the squires in here, who's probably like reloading crossbows, and I'll call him by name and tell him to run from the back of the wagon down to where the horsemen are waiting in the woods, and tell them to come about and charge loudly at the archers of the enemy. And then she'll look across them with her action. She'll give Laenor a strike ability by saying, "Laenor, behind you!"
Awesome. Who is still right next to me?
So in the melee where you are is almost all the named enemies are like within striking distance. It's all just like a big swirling bit of chaos.
Whoever is closest to the Lord, I'll try to knock them off of his back. Yeah, I'll go back to the Billhook. Yeah, try to clear him out.
So Billhook is dead.
Oh, he's dead.
Yep. So still up are the Knight Swordsman, the Great Helmed Knight. Who else is melee? The Fat Maceman.
Let's go for the Great Helm Knight.
Okay.
Maceman, I've just got pork pie in my head.
Yeah.
How does a 27 hit?
Yes.
Okay, that'll be 15 slashing damage then.
Okay. That was Tyra's turn, wasn't it? Yeah. So then Asher will try and strike. And he'll connect. Good lord, with the Maceman. Oh, he rerolls ones, doesn't he, on damage? Asher, so the Knight Swordsman is going to strike at you, Mortar. Did you go nuts last turn as well, or?
Did I? I think I'm just still going off that original. Did I attack again? Yeah. I don't think so.
No, it's only been one extremely long round. Yeah, okay. All right, so you're still going nuts. So he'll strike at you then.
The first blow, I'll get my shield in the way, so it's not at advantage. It's at straight.
Okay. Yep.
Oh no! Can I get my shield in my way because it's hooked? I won't be able to use that ability, will I?
Well, the guy is dead.
Oh, yeah, so I can. Okay.
It's still a crit on 1 die.
Oh, damn.
Unfortunately.
Bring it on.
That's the swordsman. Thankfully, it's not the guy with the hammer, but nonetheless, we'll see. So.
My poor ironwood shield.
Yeah.
It's not going to last very long.
Nope. It'll be 16 damage.
Yep.
And then he'll attack again. Is it just for the one attack, Caius?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. 18 on the die plus 7, so definite hit. 12 damage.
Oh, that's the magic number.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Yeah, so standing strong and bellowing. This knight moves carefully and considered and will strike out and stab the sword into Mortar. Swordsman. A crossbowman will fire at you, Lord Slate, with a 22.
Yep.
Ooh, for 12 damage.
Wow.
Jesus.
Okay.
Mortar. Death save.
12, he said.
Yes.
That'd be a fail. It's DC 15, right? For the.
What we usually do in Game of Thrones, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. That was Mortar. Donald will rush forward and try and strike at the swordsman. He crits him. Good lord. He'll absorb that, but he'll do the damage. A crossbowman will fire at Lord Slate, but he'll miss. A spearman in the melee is going to strike at you, Lenore.
Well, Lloyd, sorry,
Yes.
can I? Sorry to interrupt, man.
Oh, good.
I've got this ability. No blade could harm them.
Mhm.
You've learned to tap the inner strength of the indefatigable and relentless hunter. You may spend inspirational roll a stress check in order to expend hit dice for hit point recovery, but it doesn't say that it requires a bonus action or reaction or anything. So can that happen at any time?
I don't know. I'll say yes because it's more interesting. Yeah, we haven't been doing stress, have we?
Well, we're about to start.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Go for it.
So what is a stress check? Is that a grit or?
So you have a. It is. Grab the section. You're gonna roll. I think.
Well, it looks promising.
Promise that I wrote.
Yeah, but once you write something down, you don't need to remember it anymore.
Exactly. Oh, you take damage. You take stress damage. Stress check would be wisdom.
Okay, so 19 total.
Okay, a success.
So I can just spend any amount of hit dice. Spend hit dice for hit point recovery immediately during combat. Okay.
Sort of like a Berserker light feature.
Water.
Yeah, it's Helder Gegner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like the masochist.
Yeah.
15, 24, 33. Oh, so 20. Maybe I don't need to use that last one actually. 24 plus con. So 33 hit points I'll be on. So yeah. Am I able to take my turn then?
I'm gonna say it takes your turn to get back up from being dead.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, I think just as he's lying there, his direwolf cloak around him, the red haze is over his vision, and he remembers a night so long ago beneath the weirwood tree when he was wrapped in that self same skin by the witch of the woods singing over him. And then the sound of the battle falls back in, and he'll struggle to his feet. So sorry about that interruption.
Oh, good. Yeah, so I reckon like he's knocked down, and then there's like a and he gets back up, and like much to the horror of like the man who's just run you through. I think he'd even take an involuntary step back. In that case, so the spearman will attack you, and not Niall. Out of terror, there's definitely like a what by the 7 being shouted, but he misses as he's desperate and afraid. The Great Helmed Knight will swing his hammer at you, Laenor.
As a reaction, Niall will throw his shield in the way to give him disadvantage on that attack.
Very nice. That could be extremely important. That's 16 and 17 on the die, even with disadvantage. So that would be.
So he swings wide.
It would be 23. 23 to hit you, Laenor. I assume is good, but you might have a parry or something.
My parry would get me to 23, so I do not, in fact, have parry for that one.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Thanks.
He will do the damage. He'll use his expert training to do additional damage. Gonna be 20 damage.
The hammer will crack armor, denting it in, sending Laenor spinning and crumpling to the ground.
All right, and then he will. Don't know. He's just seen another guy that was dead get back up. He'll swing at you, Mortar. But he only gets a 16, which I think misses you. So
Correct.
Helmed Knight, the Maceman, is going to swing at you, Niall. But he'll miss you quite dramatically and slip and fall. And then Lord Slate, it's your turn.
Lord Slate will. It's the knight with the sword who's attacking Mordor. Is that right?
Yes. So currently everyone's attacking Mordor because he just got up from being run through, and so there's like you think some sort of a religious fear that's happening. So they're all kind of trying to strike him down.
Can I get into a position to flank him or not?
I think not because of the fact that there's so many people fighting, you know? Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So I hit an AC of 23 for 15 points damage.
Is this the swordsman knight or the Great Helm?
Sword knight.
Okay. He will. You said 23?
AC 23.
Okay, that'll hit.
15 points damage. And then I try and hit him with my shield. Sorry, I haven't rolled this one.
Good.
AC 20?
That does not hit.
Damn.
Yep, he'll block the shield strike with his own shield. Okay, that was Lord Slate. The crossbowman, still firing from outside the battle, will fire at you, Lord Slate. And he'll miss. Laenor, let's save.
You certainly need the practice.
Sort of stunned that he's
7
hit you
on the
so
die.
many times. And, oh boy, okay.
Down 1.
That's a fail for Laenor. Okay, Niall.
So you mentioned that the guy that swung at Niall did so over dramatically and ended up falling. So he's prone before me, right?
It's sort of a narrative slip as opposed to like being prone.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
no, that's fine.
Sort of-
You see what I tried to do there, Lloyd?
Yes.
No, that's fine. Then I'll roll again then because I did roll out
Sure,
with
sure,
advantage. So yeah, and I'm glad I did because that is a natural 20.
Oh, good lord. Okay. Yep.
So he swings the blade hard into this individual in front of him for 17 points of slashing damage.
That'll kill him.
Whirling about, he's then going to try and level his shield against someone else. But it doesn't matter. He just swings wildly in the melee.
This is how I like combat, where everyone's just doing 1 million damage, and it's extremely scary.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so that was Niall. Carlin Snow will strike out at the Knight Swordsman and miss. The Bald Crosswoman will fire at you, Niall, for a 19.
My AC is 19. So yes, that hits.
Action. Ooh, 13 damage.
Okay.
Jesus.
That's 10. I take 3 off that.
That shocked me. Lady Tyra.
Does Slate or Niall currently have foes adjacent to them? And she pops up over the wagon to look.
Yep.
Which of them appears least armoured? Or if, for instance, doesn't have a shield or helm?
The Great Helm Knight has a 200 hammer, so no shield.
Okay, I'll fire at him. A focused shot for 18 on the die. So +5, 23 to hit.
That's a hit.
He'll take 7 piercing damage, and Niall can make an attack at him.
Amazing, yes. He sees Lady Tyra open this opportunity for him, and he swings at the Great Helm Knight, but it's parried easily by the Great Helm Knight, ready for Niall's strike.
Okay.
She'll bob back down after for her.
Viably miss. The Knight Swordsman. God, he'd be so frightened if the guy you just stabbed in the gut and fell over got back up. He's going to swing wildly at you, Mortar, with both of his attacks. 22 on the first, and a miss on the second.
Can I get? Oh no, I've used my shield, haven't I? Oh, have I since my turn? No, I don't
against
think
Lane,
I have.
or you tried it, right? No, that was Niall.
No, I think Niall was that one.
Yeah, so you have a reaction. Yeah, so you can.
Okay,
So,
I'll try and I'll put disadvantage on the attack with order.
I think it'll still hit at 19.
Ooh, you know what? That's a miss.
Okay, yeah, so you get the shield in the way and block the blow that was destined for Mortar. So he'll miss you twice. The young crosswoman, sweating from how often he's winching this crossbow back and firing, will fire into the melee at Niall. 17 on the die, +5, so 20.
Yep, that's going to hit.
7 damage. Youthful crossman, Mortar.
Can I just ask, does Lenor have a squire or something that might be looking to his welfare?
Yeah, there's 3 of them around. I don't know that they would. I guess they could try and. They don't have medical training or anything. I don't know that anyone. I guess they could try and bind his wounds. Yeah.
Could Tira shout at one of them to drag him free? Because she can.
Yeah.
Drag him to the wagon, one of you squires who haven't acted yet.
Yep,
Yeah,
okay.
Mortar wouldn't even notice. Actually,
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
So who is the most injured out of the Great Helm Knight or the Knight Swordsman?
They're both in pretty good shape, so it's hard to know exactly. But neither of them
okay,
are
I'm gonna
particularly slowed or bleeding.
Okay, I'm gonna go for the Great Helmed Knight. That looks like it'd be a miss though at 14.
That's a miss. Yep.
But he'll try and round with, so still disoriented and starting to laugh actually. Blood kind of dribbling from the corner of his mouth. I'll round with the shield for 23.
3, that hits.
I guess I get to re-roll this too, don't I? So 7 points damage with the shield.
Clang! As it like connects with the side of his head, and he like stumbles for a second, and then recovers himself. That was 7, yeah. Okay, Donald, the squire hears your command, Tyra, and will begin to drag Leonor's body away from the battle. A crosswoman will fire at Mortar. The 20, non-natural.
Yeah, my AC is 20. So.
Okay. 9 damage. The desperate spearman will continue to try and stab at the revenant that has risen from the grave. But he'll miss, still terrified. And the Great Helm Knight is going to swing the hammer at your head, Mortar. Try and put you down for good. That's more than 20. Would be 16 from the first. The massive hammer connects, and then he will strike a second time.
Does he still have? Oh, you can only do disadvantage on one attack, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a reaction. Yeah. That one is a 19, which misses you. So maybe he knocks you to the side from the first, and then the recovery strike is too slow, as you've been able to dodge the second.
Sorry, can you just tell me again what the damage was from the first one?
16?
Is it
16? Yes, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord Slate.
Lord Slate says, "Hang on in there, Mordor," and tries to take out the hammer, Great Helm's Knight.
Okay.
AC 22 for.
He'll use his reaction to parry it. Oh no, it'll only bring him to 22, so that's a hit.
14. And then he tries to hit him with his shield, but just bounces ineffective. Well, AC 16 isn't going to get through his plate, is it?
No, it's not. No, it'll clang against one of his pauldrons, but do nothing. The crossbow will continue firing, hoping.
And you can see he's trying to say something, but he's run out of breath. So
Yeah.
he's still trying to spit things at him, but he's struggling now.
It's a case for all of the knights. I think you could just hear like ragged breathing in the helmets, and all of the bravado was gone, and now it's just exhaustion and desperate swings. The bearded crossbowman will fire once again, trying to take down Lord Valen. He'll get a 19.
Yep, that just hits.
Oof. 6 damage.
Okay. Oof.
They know our death save, please.
Later will see the veiled face of the stranger reaching out a hand with a 2 on the die. Barely not die right this second.
Wow.
We'll have a second fail.
Jesus. Oof. Niall.
Yeah, like everyone else, Niall's breath is coming to him hard. His breath rising before him in the night's air. He slams his weapon against his shield, which bears the symbol of the black eel, as he gets his second wind. So he gets some health back, and then he's going to try and just charge down at the Great Helm Knight.
Okay.
So 19 on the die.
Okay.
25.
Yep.
Yeah, that's, yep. Let's see. I didn't pre-roll this time. Dummy. So that's 11 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then he's going to bring up his shield. 22 on the shield.
That'll hit.
Amazing. For 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Well done, Snow.
Still stands. That was Niall. Harlan Snow, seeing. I don't know what he would do. Seeing Laenor like struck and being dragged away, I think he would go to try and help. Yep, he'll rush to try and help Donald drag Laenor to Tyra, who maybe can help. Crossbowman will fire at you, Mortar, with a 18, which misses you. Lady Tyra, you can see that the two squires are dragging Laenor's body, and it's like now placed at the side of the carriage.
They're both his squires, right?
Yeah, yep.
I'll say, well done, but there is little you can do for him now, though you may steer us to victory. Get to a horse and to the horsemen. Tell them to ride down those archers. Go now. And then she'll look down to Laenor and begin like putting pressure on and binding his wounds for going her own attack. She'll attempt to. Her wound wise is decent. And 18 on the die again, so 22 wound wise.
Okay.
To staunch the worst of the bleeding and bind up the wounds.
Yep, that'll stabilize him. So he won't bleed to death. You can see the two squires, like both of them have like blood splattered onto their faces. It's not their own, but they both look absolutely aghast at like the battle and the chaos of it. And when you shout at them to do something, they sort of like stand there dumbly for a second and then start to run towards the horsemen.
Tira will look down at the knight and like see where like the crossbow fire of the enemy has punched holes in our line, and there's enemies like in like sprawled melee. She'll reach down and clutch the blade and like stand over him should the foe come through.
Okay. Asher is the one who didn't help. So he's still in the battle. He will. That makes sense. He's the one who thinks he's enough. He will try and strike down the Great Helm Knight. We'll get through the armor. The swordsman is going to strike out at you, Mortar. Twice. Any interactions here before I roll the dice?
I'm just trying to. Have I got one still? I have, because
Yes.
I have.
Yeah, we just went around again. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, on the first one then.
Okay. So he'll miss, hitting Lord Slate's shield, and a 21 for the second, which I think is good. 11 slashing, Mortar, from the Knight Swordsman. The crossbowman will fire his bolt at you, Niall, with a 17, which I think probably misses you.
Yeah, bounces off his pauldron.
Yep, Mortar, your turn.
Mortar's he's reeling. He's getting beaten from side to side. Quarrels are like thumping into his armor and his shield. And he totters from the impact back and forth. But he looks up into the sky and lets out a howl, which will be a second wind. It's probably the Great Helm Knight that's looking the most wounded now, right?
It is, yeah.
And that'll be a definite hit at 24. Just re-roll that damage. 5. So what do we have? Oh, we re-roll ones, but then we can also have advantage on the damage, right?
Yeah, so yeah.
So that will be 6 plus. That'll be 13 points damage.
Okay. All right, that'll get him.
Yes. So just catching him under the edge of the helmet. I think he staggers to the side a bit before the sheet of blood starts pumping out from beneath it.
Nice. That's probably swung the battle, I think. That was so huge. All right, Donald Hort is running around. The Kelleholm crossbowman is going to fire at... let's just roll. Lord Slate. It's a crit, Caius. God.
Okay, some of the worst.
You have absorb left? Probably.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't been cooking yet.
Oh my God,
But-
it's really big.
Oh,
20. Piercing.
20. Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. It sucks through his neck and he goes down.
Yeah, there's a ragged cry from the crossman. Like he's delighted with himself. The spearman.
Yeah. You just see him cheer as he sees the hammer person go as the hammer wielding knight go down, and then suddenly, as he's cheering, this his cheer is cut off by a crossbow, just catching him in the neck, and he's thrown back and down on the ground in a splatter of blood.
Oof. Desperate Spearman will strike out at Mordor, see if he can take down this terrifying revenant and hit once this battle. He does, I think. 20? You've told me your armor class like 15 times in this battle quote, sorry.
Yeah, 20 AC.
Okay. 10.
Oh fuck. I'm down to 2 points, man.
Oh man. Oh, it's
Again.
so fucking tense.
Again.
Lord Slate, a death save, please.
I got a 17, so that's a
Okay, so
success.
the bearded crossman sort of grumbles to himself that somebody else got the kill on the Lord and he's been trying for so long. But will instead turn his crossbow towards the wolf-pelted man. But he'll miss. Lenore. Oh, you're unconscious. Niall.
Yeah, so which ones are standing at this point in front of, because the Great Helm Knight that he was up against just got downed. So who's around that area?
The Knight Swordsman is still there and the Desperate Spearman.
I think I'll go for the Knight Swordsman. Appears to be more dangerous. So I think, Niall is just going to take a swing. 17 on the die. So 23 in total.
Okay, you might be able to parry that. You can get to 24 with... This is the Swordsman, yeah?
This is the Swordsman, yeah.
He'll parry it to bring himself to 24.
19 with the shield.
Total, or...
No, 25 in total.
Okay. Yep, nice, that's a hit.
Okay. It's like the best I've rolled in so long.
Yeah.
I'm killing it, man. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of bashing damage with the shield.
Okay. Clang! He'll stumble back, but he still stands. That was Niall. Carlin Snow is helping getting the boys.
I'll tell him to. So he did end up leaving. Cool.
Yeah, he ran off with Donald Horch to grab the cavalry to attack their archers. The crossbowmen will fire at you, Niall. A 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Boy. 10 damage.
Oh, God.
Tyra.
Yeah, Niall staggers. Yep.
Oh, boy. All right.
In this brutal melee, she's comical with a blade. She'll drop the sword after entertaining the thought of using it, and will reach up instead for a bow and fire near point blank. Is it the maceman who's still up, or the swordsman?
The spearman. The Knight Swordsman is up, and the Desperate Spearman.
And the Desperate Spearman doesn't have a shield, I assume.
No, he's got a spear in both hands.
Or does? Probably an easier target to hit. And he's still adjacent to Niall, who's up. Still, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Still going.
I'll fire. Okay, mate, I'll fire and give you an attack. If I hit, I get a crit.
Oh, baby.
Oh, my God.
Nice.
Okay, so it'll still be pitiful, terror crit, but 8 plus 3. 11 piercing damage. And Niall gets to make an attack on the desperate spearman.
Made an attack. It's a dirty 20.
That'll hit him.
That hits him. Amazing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of slashing damage.
That's exactly the correct amount.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
The old guys hear us.
So he takes the opportunity and plunges his blade last second into the spearman as he lunges at Niall in turn.
Okay.
And then Tira's going to use her movement to rush up over nearby to Volan's body, intending to bring it out of the fray, but mechanically also opening herself up to crossbow fire to try and alleviate some of the punishment the others are taking.
Okay.
And that's it for her.
Asher Steele will try and strike down this remaining Knight Swordsman. And again, there's still like loads of dudes around. It's just like this is the zoom in that we're doing. And he misses, of course. The Knight Swordsman, so tough. He is going to strike. God, should really just make sure of head. People trying to kill him. Okay, he's going to strike at you, Mortar. For 19 on the die, which will certainly 20.
Well, that'll take me out.
Okay, yeah, he'll strike with the sword, and then he will use a second attack to strike at the Lord Slate as he is down.
I think I need a rest.
So with advantage, that'll be 22, which I think will hit you, Kaya. So you'll have 2 failed death saves. That's it for the Knight Swordsman. The crossbowman will fire at you, Niall. But he'll whiff it and not hit. Mortar, death save, please.
Fail.
Okay. Oh my god. The crossbowman will fire into the melee at Niall. But I think he'll miss with a 17.
Yeah, again, Niall gets lucky.
Okay. Caius, a death save, please.
I get a 1.
No, my god. Holy shit. You can do it, yeah. Sense it the whole way here. The bearded crossbowman will fire at you, Niall. He'll miss once again. Laenor, oh, you're out. Niall.
Who's left?
the Knight Swordsman.
So obviously not seeing this. Say it again, sorry, Nico.
You might flank him with Carlin Snow. I think Carlin Snow's been battering him as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think throwing everything he's got into this attack against the swordsman. 17 on the die, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, 23.
He'll parry
He can
that.
parry that,
Yep.
can't he? Fuck's sake, man, I can't get Okay, and he's going to go for him with the shield. No, he turns the blade aside, and Niall, thinking he can get with a shield, this swordsman is already out of the way.
Fucking hell, okay. You can hear the grung, 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 and shouts from the crossbowmen and the archers behind. And that will be Colin Snow. The bald crossbowman will fire at you, Tyra. Fucking crit. You have any absorb, Nico?
She'll absorb the effect of the helm.
Okay.
She doesn't have a shield, but she has helm, so it's absorbed. Take the damage.
18 damage.
Oh,
Crit.
goodness. Yeah, it just takes her above like the left hip. She looks down at it, and the world goes quiet till it reaches the tonital ring.
Fucking hell.
Nearly slain in one hit.
Oh my god. That was the bald crossbowman. Tyra, your turn.
She steps back from into the cover of the wagons from the crossbow fire below, and will fire at the cornered knight who's just butchered her brother. She fires like crazed, with no thought of that she might hit like her companion or a squire of her companion set. come what may. She'll use her focus shot, so fuck. It's a miss, so Niall won't get an attack from my focus. And then she will use her movement to go up into the wagon. Oh, fuck. She goes up into the wagon and she goes to Rickard.
The knight
and
can
she
attack
says,
you if you move away because you're adjacent to Volin. He's right. You'd move to where Volin.
Oh, I went close to Volin, not adjacent to Volin. I
yep,
said
then you're
I
fine.
was to get to him. Yep.
Okay.
So unless someone would come up to me, I think she's still isolated.
Okay.
She'll rush in and say to Rickard, "You are the Slate, and the fight now goes against us. You must come forth and turn the tide now." And she'll like beckon him out and show him Laenor's blade there and the fray. And break her oath to Volin to keep Rickard safe, and instead try and use him to save everyone. And then she will, like, as she's done that, like laying back in the wagon, she's like, and then the wound's starting to catch up with her, and like the cold setting in and the weakness, and she's like fumbling with cold, numb, stupid hands at the her arrow bag, and like the bow seems like foreign to her. She awaits her fate inside there.
Jesus. How old is Rickard? He's 8?
No, he's
12.
at 14.
He's 12, huh?
I thought it was Liana was 12. My apologies. Maybe that's. I didn't realize he was only 12. That changes.
Is he 12, Caius? Do you know?
Yep, he's 12, I think.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Asher Steele.
Then I won't let him do that. Obviously, I'll like protect him inside the wagon.
Okay. Yeah, he's horrified. His eyes are wide. He's pale. He's holding like a short sword that he was given to start with white knuckles, and looks like at his aunt near death, and it's just frozen. I think. I can't imagine any 12-year-old like. Well, maybe I don't know. We'll do a wisdom save next turn or something. But yeah, Asher Steele is going to try and take out the Knight's Swordsman, but he of course misses. Knight's Swordsman is going to turn on you, Niall.
He has an advantage flanking him with Niall.
Oh, he does, yeah. Nope, still no good. It's a 9. The Knight's Swordsman will turn on you, Niall, and will actually know he's going to strike. Yes, he will strike. You're the scarier boy. 21 and a miss.
Well, he's hit me. Yep.
10 damage.
Clenching. How much? Sorry.
10. God.
I'm still going.
Oh god.
I'm still going. Just about.
The crossbowman will fire at one of the squires now because he sees the knight is fighting through, and he will hit. You see a bolt hit Asher in the shoulder up to the fletching, and he's spun around. Mortar, a death save, please.
Well, this is delicious. I think, yeah, as you stepped over Mortar, there's like a silhouette rises behind the swordsman, and where the fuck are you going? and I'm gonna so I guess I'm on 1 hit point, so I'm just gonna recklessly attack. There's no point doing anything else.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Yes.
So he strikes out with his shield, but I think that'll be a miss for 12, 17.
Yeah, it's a miss.
Come on. Oh, fuck. 3 and 13. 18.
A miss.
That's all I can do. All I'm good for is taking blows.
The Kettleheld crosswoman will fire. Jesus, I don't. If he sees you get back up again, I think you just fucking wonder. Yeah, he'll shoot at the wolfman that won't die, I guess. But he'll miss. Lord Slate has parted from this world. The bearded crosswoman will fire at you now. It's a crit, Rob.
Well, I absorb it, but I doubt that'll do me much good.
It's very low damage. It's only 6.
I'm still up.
Oh my god.
I'm still up.
Your turn.
Wait, I deduct 3 off that, so it's actually 3 because of my armor thing, right? Fuck. Okay, swordsman's still there, right?
Yep.
Oh my god, crossbow bolts just singing past him. He rushes again, like barely alive. 24.
Yes, sir.
Have you done your second wind yet?
Yeah, I've already done it, mate. That was like 2 rounds ago.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good damage. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of slashing damage against the armored swordsman.
Alive.
Fuck.
Badly injured.
Oh, shield. No, it's not going to hit him.
Okay. Oh, good God. Okay. The crossbowman will fire at you. 18. At you, Robson.
Me?
Yeah.
That misses.
Okay.
My AC is 19.
Dunks into your shield. That was the bald crossbowman. Tyra.
She will push open the carriage door, step down with the bow, cause like anguish from her core as she pulls the string like uncomfortably from the quarrel that's in her. And that knight is still up, isn't he?
Yep.
The knight fighting Niall.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll probably miss. And he's not flanking anymore with Asher, right? Because he fell. He was shot down.
Yep.
How far is he standing from the wagon?
Half a movement, I guess.
Okay. I will. Oh, fuck. If I do that, though, I could die. So how do I want to die?
Would he be flanked between Niall and Mortar?
He would now between Niall and Mortar, yeah, because Mortar stood up behind him.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll call for Niall to, God's be with you, to make an attack. And she can't pull the bow. Narratively, she can't pull the bow from the paint and reels back. Still in the cover from the crossbow fire, but like open to the melee beyond, and she'll give the look. You'll get to roll your damage dice twice and take the high and reroll 1s or 2s if you hit, and you're flanking.
Yeah, advantage.
Who was that, sorry?
Rob.
To Niall.
So I had advantage and I re-roll my damage if I get 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 25 to hit.
That's a hit.
Re-roll on the damage. Let's see. I'll re-roll that. That's a 2. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of slashing damage on the sword. Do I get advantage with the shield as well?
It's just a melee attack. It's not a standard attack, so you can't do the bonus as well.
14 is enough, Rob.
Fuck yes. So literally he turns to face the wrong guy at the wrong second. Niall is ready. He scoops up mud from the ground, akin to his father's fabled technique, and slams it into the guy's visor. And as he staggers back, his blade finds him in the throat.
Holy shit.
And is Niall's turn, like Niall's turn will happen after the enemy crossbowman, mechanically,
There
right?
are 2 crossbowmen, 3 before Niall's turn.
Then Tira's going to
Run, lady,
rush
run!
up. And she hasn't got an action, so she can't pick up a shield, but she will rush up and stand and like running, try to tackle Niall down from the arrow fire, but mechanically stand in front of him.
Okay. Oof. Fire Asher will rise. I guess at this stage, just cross from. I mean, there's still dudes all around in the shield wall. I guess like there's still a fight happening, but overall that's been broken here. Like you've won that thing. Yeah, the cavalry you can hear in the back fighting their archers. You can hear them running around back there, and that there's fighting. think at this stage they will.
I think she'd call Archer, charge the archers, like they will flee.
Mhm. He'll do that.
Since
yeah.
Volan's not here to give commands, she'll order him to.
Yeah,
With a
Asher,
quarrel in her.
he has one in his shoulder as well. He'll start running forward with his shield raised. He'll move and dash to get engaged with one. The youthful crossbowman. He'll drop his crossbow and pull a knife and try and hit him. But he is unable to do so against the squire. Mortar.
Yeah, Mortar's just like there's blood in his eyes, and he's just swinging his sword around him, like staggering, nearly falling against a cart, kind of heaving off. He can't even tell barely what he's doing. So who's still standing, or would you have a sense of anyone?
No one here in the shield wall. No named enemy, but there's lots of crossbowmen in the woods, like 2 moves away.
2 moves away.
You would have seen Asher just run past you and then down and like towards the woods, and you can see that he's now clashing with one of them.
As a player, man, I'm on 1 hit point. I think, he's just so disoriented. He doesn't know what's going on, but he sees the fallen form of his lord, and just not even sort of comprehending whether he's dead or not. He grabs him and begins dragging him to cover.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. You can drag him to the cart. Donald is going to engage the Kettlehelm crossbowman while he's on horseback. This misses. The Kettlehelm crossbowman is going to disengage and run into the forest. The bearded crossbowman will fire once more into the. Try and take down Niall before this ends. Fateful roll. It's only a 17, which I think won't hit you.
Doesn't hit, thank fuck.
He will then begin to run. So I think at this stage we can. There's still a lot of fighting going on, but you've won the bit around you, and will their crossbowmen, in the majority of them, will like break and start to run in various directions in the woods, and your riders will chase after them in the dark. Well, almost dawn now, I think.
Here, Lord, take a sip of wine. Mortar will try and pour wine into Lord Slate's mouth. Probably only then noticing it like leaking out of his throat, and the lack of response.
Niall stands just behind Mortar, his hands on his knees. He spits blood from his mouth, and then, like wide-eyed, suddenly remembers Lady Tyra running in front of him for a moment. Quickly looks around to see where she is.
They should be screaming at the Slate to chase them down, like ride them down, capture those who yield and slay those who resist. To arms.
They are routed, lady.
They still might outnumber us if they regroup.
Yes,
we
they
cannot
certainly
let this costly victories turn to a sour defeat. And she'll say, "On, lead them if you can."
Yeah, Niall will sort of swallow more blood, looking at sort of over again, dizzy at Mortar, but then sort of rolls his shoulders and raises his sword to those that are looking at him, and will start a brisk march of who remains towards the routing crossbowmen.
Yep. So you'd be confident that if they regrouped, they would outnumber you, and could probably, even if they hadn't run, like would have won. But with no like infantry to support them, their natural instinct is to run away from horses.
Yeah, 100%.
And so
fair enough.
Capitalizing on that, like with you and the squires and others, you're able to chase them.
Mortar will join in too. Like once he realizes, it dawns on him that his lord's been slain. He'll stand up and run howling into the woods. Hopefully not tripping over a tree root and killing himself.
Yeah, the an errant branch could take you out at this stage, I think. Mortar thrice dead.
That was awesome.
Incredible, yeah. All right, so you'll chase them down, Niall. You can mount up on a horse and sort of get the remaining horsemen underway and chasing as best you can, making sure that they don't regroup. You can see that many of them are running and just all over the place. The crosswomen and the archers, and you can see like some of them are trying to climb trees and just like anything to avoid getting killed at this stage. But it's chaos, and at this point, like the momentum is enough that none of them are going to turn to fight. You think most of them are running. There'll be a lot of work to like catch them all and chase them all down, but it's that's what lies ahead of you this evening.
Yeah, he watches the last of them sort of like vanish between the trees and over the horizon and stuff, and it's only then that he looks down and he sees a crossbow bolt sort of stuck in his ribs. His hands are shaking, covered in blood. He pulls off his gauntlets, but he can't undo the buckles properly, and he slips down and falls his back against the tree, and he's just desperately gasping for breath. And he allows himself a moment before returning.
Yeah, so at the cart, the boy is in tears, and there's maybe like quiet here compared to the rest of the battle and the insane noise that had been happening previously. Laenor is down, unconscious, though you think he might survive Tyra, though you can see now that Vaughn is not getting back up.
She'll summon Rickard to come and look upon his father, and not let the boy shy away from the carnage outside of the cart. I'll have some like wounded old knight escort him.
Yeah, he'll force himself to look. So he looks at you several times, as well, and like the wounds that you bear, and wonders like if his whole family is done for. And you can tell that he's terrified.
We may as yet die. You must take up your father's blade now.
He looks, and will step forward and pick up the great sword, which is as long as he is probably, and will pick it up and hold it, and then look at you like he's robotic in the way that he's moving, like he can't process what's happened.
Rickard, we must see to the wounded and make our camp strong here and await the coming of the foresters. The men must see, you must help, and you cannot be the boy inside the wagon anymore.
Yes. Yes, do that.
Find a place to safely stow that blade and help.
Yeah, he'll look around as if he's looking for a place that will be a convenient place to put the sword, and then we'll walk back to the wagon and place it inside there with some reverence, and then come back and begin to like sort of, he like picks up a shield that's like lying errantly like on the ground and thinks, where do I put this? It's clear that he's just like totally overwhelmed, has no idea what he's supposed to be doing, and is just, yeah, a boy in a battle. So he keeps looking to you sort of like he's lost, as the squires and stuff who are now sort of returning are helping drag people who are wounded and bring them to the cart and set up and repair what's left of the camp.
Yeah, I'll set him in with them and bid him to follow them, trying to like busy him, as cruel as that might be. Busy everyone, since we'd be so diminished by that, so vulnerable. She fears a counterattack, so.
Okay. Might be a good place to call it for today, and then figure out what happens next time. Unless there's anything that has to happen right now. Anyone wants to do anything right now?
Can I suggest that you? Well, I don't know whether we've got plans for what to do next, but I think putting the body of Lord Vollen and the 4 knights or the knights of Whitehill into a wagon and take them to Winterfell.
Yeah, well, either that or we meet Forrester on the road
Mm.
because we're pretty vulnerable right now.
Yeah,
this
would
is
we
the-
even
this is the
survive
evidence.
getting? Yeah,
This is the evidence that we were sort of
wanting, yeah.
taking this risk for.
But Forresters will give witness anyway.
We'll have prisoners.
I'm just thinking you'd requested to be buried in that Weirwood Grove.
Ironwrath.
Maybe we can await the foresters to come, see to our wounded, and then what we can travel on with the stuff we need, while the Ironwrath people will travel back with the body of our lord to bury him as he'd wished.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's call it there then for today. And we'll see what happens next time when the Foresters arrive.